In your 20s, you were able to skip a couple meals, hit the gym a couple times, and watch the scale instantly change. It was that easy. Now that you're over 40, you just smell brownies and you gain weight. Or you're in the gym religiously for months and you don't see the scale budge. I know how frustrating that is. And I know even though weight isn't everything, for a lot of us women, it does define our self-confidence, our relationship with people, and our overall outlook on life. So if you want to lose a couple pounds because that's what's going to help you feel happy and healthy, I definitely want to help you avoid some of those biggest weight loss mistakes I see women make in my practice. Definitely stay until the end because I'm going to be dribbling in tips all throughout the way that's really going to help you lose the weight the right way and for the long run without messing up your metabolism. Let's dive in. My name is May Tom. I'm a nerdy dietitian and functional medicine detective. I love helping women master their metabolism so that they can feel and look their very best. If you haven't already, definitely grab my must-have food guide to getting your metabolism back on track. You will not want to miss this. Stop guessing, learn how to stock your kitchen, learn how to get those recipes going so that your metabolism can say, thank you. The first biggest weight loss mistake I see women make is to eat less and exercise more. What I mean by that is you are eating some crazy diet like the cabbage soup diet and you're hitting Orange Theory or CrossFit or some kind of high intensity exercise more than 5 days a week. So why does this backfire? There's a couple reasons. Short-term stress, we call that hormesis, is actually good for you. It will cut your appetite down. It will help you relieve fat stores. So you might see initial results that way. Long-term stress ends up being obesogenic, which means it does exactly the opposite for your metabolism. Stress hormones, also a peptide called neuro-PY, along with a whole cascade of other signaling molecules, are released when you're under chronic stress. There's a couple things that it does to your metabolism. Number one, it causes you to become insulin resistant because you keep dumping sugar into your bloodstream as a survival mechanism. That sugar, when it's not burned, ends up getting stored in one of the worst places, actually around your midsection. We call that visceral fat. It's not only the most inflammatory type of fat, it is the worst for your waistline, obviously. So we don't want that. Secondly, you will end up sending signals to your brain that causes you to want more palatable foods, usually foods that are higher in calorie, like more bang for your buck, like sugar, right? You will also be seeking out food more often. So those hunger signals will get intensified. It's going to be that much harder to stick to a very low calorie diet. And that's why you end up falling off the wagon. The other thing that's terrible for your metabolism is you actually shut down the activity of your good fat, your brown fat. We call that BAT, brown adipose tissue. And this is the fat that causes you to burn fuel for energy, thermogenesis, all day and all night to keep you warm. And if you stop that, you are actually lowering your metabolism automatically, significantly. So we really don't want that. How do we know if we're stressing out our bodies too much? And how do we know, what kind of calories really honor our body? Number one, I would say stop counting calories. Just pay attention to what your body needs. If you know you are an overeater and you guys know who you are, it is important to dig into what's behind that. Usually there's an emotional component, a self-soothing component that needs to be teased apart and released. The other thing with overeating is a lot of people just are not paying attention and food is just kind of a free-for-all at every meal and you just eat for pleasure. So a good advice I have for a lot of women, and this has helped a lot of my clients dial in their eating very quickly, is to follow hara hachibu, which is a Japanese phrase that means eating till you're 80% full. Now, this does require that you're paying attention, not multitasking while eating. And a great little secret I have for you, if you need a one-on-one course on mindful eating to get you started in this direction, is to do a chocolate tasting. And I do have an amazing class that I did with an award-winning chocolatier, Morgan Coleman. He is the head chocolatier at FX Chocolate. If you'd like the replay for that, DM me on Instagram. The other thing that's important to note is if you really want to dial in your exercise so that you're not over stressing your body, I would encourage you to use a biofeedback device like Whoop or the Oura Ring, something that measures your heart rate variability. I was talking to one of the guest speakers from my Defy Aging Summit, Tamsin Lewis, who is an Ironman, and heart rate variability is basically a check on your nervous system. It will drop significantly if you're under high stress. And if you see that your heart rate has tanked, heart rate variability has tanked for multiple days or weeks in a row, it tells us your body is significantly stressed. So definitely check that out. I'll put a link below on where to get that. The number 2 biggest weight loss mistake I see people make, especially women over 40, is intermittent fasting with a feeding window way too late, or being good all day by skimping on calories and maybe even skipping meals in efforts to try to lose weight. Now, why is this a bad idea? Number 1, when you skip meals, you end up probably making up those calories at dinner or with grazing. And a lot of times that ends up being later in the day because you always start off good. And we call that backloading calories. It is completely against your circadian rhythm, which wants to follow the sun. So the later you eat in the day, the more misaligned this is with our circadian rhythm. And if you are intermittent fasting, think about moving that window closer to when the sun is out and closing it when the sun goes down, ideally. Some of you who have tried intermittent fasting and have found that it's not getting you anywhere need to try something else like more prolonged fasting. And especially for women over 40, I would highly encourage you to do something like a fasting mimicking diet. You can also check out my YouTube vlog on my first experience of the fasting mimicking diet, along with tips and tricks of how to do it successfully. All right, the third biggest weight loss mistake I see women make over 40 is to do the keto diet wrong or for too long. And I'm picking on the keto diet because this is the diet that usually comes up in people's minds when they try to lose weight. I guess it's just trending right now. What the keto diet is supposed to be is very high fat, very low carbs, and moderate protein. A lot of people think they're doing keto, but they're actually doing paleo. So to know you're doing keto right, you really do want to check your ketones either in urine or blood. I like using a Keto Mojo for that. And again, I'll link that below. If you're adding a bunch of saturated fat into your diet and you don't take out the carbs, that is not the keto diet. That is a recipe for disaster. And I talked a lot about this with Dr. Molly Maloof on my Defy Aging Summit. Her talk was about optimizing blood sugar and improving mitochondrial function. You can check out that lecture along with all of the other summit interviews in the link below. It's not one size fits all. You should definitely work with a practitioner if you want to tease apart what's the best route for you to go. But I hope that at least these major mistakes are something that you are now aware of and can move forward without making. Definitely, if you enjoyed this video, share it with your friends. People need to hear this. We need to support each other, and let's lose weight the right way and keep it off for the long run so that we can feel amazing in our own bodies.